I'm going to record this. That is where we are going today, is just talking about the steps I took to go from brand new coach to 5-star elite by the end of the year. And honestly, you guys need to understand that this is not anything special. And you'll hear all these top coaches say that, like, I'm not anything special, I'm just like you. Because it's true. Anybody can do this. Like, legit, anybody can do this. You've got to find your niche and you've got to be consistent, but anybody can do this. So I am going to screen share really quickly. And maybe, let me find it real quick. Okay, so this kind of goes along with vision boards, because you have to kind of have the vision of it or it's not going to happen. And you'll find that that's how it is with anything in life, is if you don't have a clear vision of where you're going, you're not going to get there. You're just kind of stay the same. You're not going to go anywhere. That's why goals setting is so important and all of that fun stuff. So you guys know kind of my story. I'll go into some of it for newer coaches who maybe don't know my story. I started in January of 2015. I was at like the all-time low of my life, like in every single way possible, like physically, emotionally, mentally, who I was as a person, financially. Like I just hated life, like hated life. Like I didn't even like to be around myself. That's how you know it's bad, when you want to like run away from your own body. Like that's pretty dang bad. So that was me. I watched Micah for 1.5 years, and it makes me crazy to think of where I would be had I not watched her for so long, because like she just shared her life, which is what this is all about. And when I finally had enough, I went to her because she shared her life. And so this is my transformation from January until a couple weeks ago. And anyway, when I started last January, like I said, I was at the lowest point of my life. It was not fun in any way. I decided that I was going to do this for me to have more accountability, because I knew I needed more accountability than just as a challenger. And I thought if I could make some money, that would be even more awesome. And within 8 months, I surpassed my husband's salaried full-time income that he worked up to for 6 years. And it's grown ever since then, almost to the point that I'm making more in 1 week than he makes in 2. So this business has crazy, crazy financial potential, which is what kind of is driving my vision right now. When we started, I didn't fully grasp that until I started doing the trainings that Micah had set up and really digging into personal development. So it's completely changed our life, and I'll talk a little bit more about that, but you guys kind of know all that anyway. So vision is not enough. It must be combined with venture. It is not enough to stare up the steps. We must step up the stairs. So you can't just think, oh, I'm going to be 5-star elite or whatever your goals are for the end of the year and think you're going to get there. Like you have to actually put the action into it and the steps into it to getting there. And so last February, when I was going through all the trainings and reading personal development, the first book I read was The Slight Edge, and I actually read it out loud to my husband while he played video games. And that was like a turning point for him as well as me, because he always supported me. I always felt that support. But that was when like we both caught the vision of, why can I not be successful at this, you know, business wise? Like, of course I could do this. And that's the first time I think we actually felt a sliver of hope, was like, we've seen how it was changing Micah's life. And the more I listened to success stories and watched other coaches, I realized that this is not just for like the top, you know, people of the company. A lot of people were changing their lives with this business. And reading that book is what really caught my vision of the company. And so I made a vision board, and this was my vision board from last year. And it may not look like that big, but coming from where we were coming from, these were crazy, insane goals. Like we went on one family vacation a year and it was paid for with our tax return. Like that's all we could ever afford. And last year, I'm trying to remember why. Oh, we did. We went on our Disneyland vacation. That's what we normally do with our tax return money. But we wanted to go on another trip, and we wanted to go to Yellowstone. Well, that never would have been possible because we were living less than paycheck to paycheck. Like literally not surviving, going into debt. Our credit cards were maxed. So putting on our vision board that we wanted to go to Yellowstone was a big thing. Family scripture study daily. We're still trying to work on that one. That one's a tough one. Paying off the van. We wanted to pay it off by January of this year. We actually paid that off in September. Food storage. We got some food storage, not a ton, because we ended up moving. And I was not going to haul those all across the state. Horrible. And then going to the temple once a month. We didn't really get to that one as often as we should have. Homeschooling. I homeschooled my kids, so that was a big goal. And then BYU. My husband loves BYU. He has always wanted to go BYU games. We never had the money. He never had the time. And last year he went to 3 BYU games, and he even flew to California for one of them, which is just super awesome to us because all of these were crazy goals. And we went to Yellowstone for the first time ever, paying cash for our vacation. We didn't put anything on the credit card, and it felt amazing. And it was a week after we paid off our van. And then we put the 5-star diamond by December, and literally we laughed. Like, we thought this was absolutely insane. My husband said after like this all got done, he was like, I remember thinking maybe you should just focus on getting to diamond, not 5-star diamond, because it seemed very daunting to us. Like, I know how you guys all feel, especially as brand new coaches. Looking at even getting to diamond, you think, how am I going to do this? And so I'm going to break it down for you to kind of show you what you can do to reverse engineer your goals and get to your goals by the end of the year. So creating a vision board, I highly suggest. There's something to seeing that every single day. Like, I made it my cover photo on my Facebook, so I saw it every day. There's something about seeing it that reignites, oh yeah, that's a goal of mine. I need to take the action steps towards that so it happens. When you don't see it, you don't think about it. So you need to put it somewhere you can see it off and print it off, put it in your bathroom, put it, Jerica made it on her lock screen for her phone. Like, there's lots of ways you can do this. But make a vision board and make it for more than just the business. Obviously include family, date nights. We got lots of dates in, never had that happen before. Stuff like that. So make it personal and business. Don't just do one or the other. Okay. So after I decided I want to be 5-star elite, I realized I needed to break down these goals because just thinking I was going to get there was not going to happen. I needed to reverse engineer them to know what steps I needed to be taking clear down to the daily goals to make this happen. So the first one is, if elite is your goal, you need to download the elite tracker. And it breaks down each category for you and tells you, you need 4 new coaches a month. You need, I can't remember how many to Success Club, 2 or 3 to Success Club a month. And that will basically get you to elite. And it really does boil down to that. It boils down to hitting Success Club, signing up coaches and teaching them how to hit Success Club. So that goal tracker is awesome. I remember at the beginning, I was like, yeah, that ain't happening. I'm not signing up 4 coaches a month. And it doesn't matter because it's a compound effect. So by the end of the year, you're going to have more momentum going. I had more coaches hitting, Success Club, and you don't necessarily have to have it every month or else you're doomed and you'll never hit elite. It's just a guide, and you can far surpass that by the end of the year. So download that if that is your goal, which I highly suggest you guys don't limit yourself. If this is something you're doing for the business, I suggest making elite your goal, period, because if you're shooting high, you're going to be successful. So if you're like, oh, I could never do that, and you're thinking, I'll just focus on getting to diamond, you're going to find that you're just going to be diamond by the end of the year when you could have been far more. So making your goals enough that they stretch you and are scary, that is where they're appropriate because it pushes you out of your comfort zone and it pushes you to get there. Okay, so on top of that, you need to make quarterly goals. I suggest, after having done this, do not make them around quarterly bonus deadlines because you'll hate your life. So I think quarterly goals are good. Do not base them around a deadline. Quarterly bonuses are awesome. Everybody wants quarterly bonuses. Do not do it to the date of the quarterly bonus because it is not worth the stress. It will distract you from the real reason we're doing this. And it just takes the fun out of it. So have quarterly goals, but don't put them around the deadlines for the bonuses because you know what? If you hit that quarterly goal, you're going to be prepared for the next quarter to get those quarterly bonuses. So break them down to quarterly bonuses so you can have income quarterly goals. You can have how many coaches you're going to have signed up. You can have how many are going to be diamond. So just break it down and get very specific. The more specific you are, the easier it is to hit your goal. I even wrote down last February, I should find it. I wrote down income goals, and seriously, I thought they were insane. Like, I remember I put like 250 a week by April, and that was like insane. And then I think I put like 1,000 a week by August or September, which is what happened. So get very specific with the income that you want to be growing, how many coaches you want to sign up, and all that, like Success Club points and all that. So have quarterly goals. And then on top of that, you need to have monthly goals. My minimum monthlies are Success Club 10. It's a non-negotiable for me, and 5 to 10 coaches, all that normal monthly goals that we have. And then weekly goals on top of that. So to get to Success Club, I like to sell 2 challenge packs a week. That makes me get to 10 without getting to like the last day of the month. And I'm like, oh crap, I haven't done anything all month. So that kind of helps me stay engaged and consistent with my posts, is to have a weekly goal. And then on top of that, the daily goals, which is the BAT, is Business Activity Tracker, or Power of Threes. Teams just call them different names. So Power of Threes is something you do every day, and I can promise you, if you're doing your Power of Threes every single day, your business will grow. There is no way it cannot grow if you're doing that, because that is literally the foundation to this business. So you'll find that as you're doing the daily goals, you're going to be hitting your weekly goals, and then you're going to be hitting your monthly goals, you're going to hit your quarterly goals, and before you know it, you're elite at the end of the year. I know that sounds easier said than done, but I can promise you, having experienced it and watching other rockstar coaches who are doing this, that is what they do. And Emily is on track for this. She is like killing it already. She's already ranked almost in the top 200 in the first month of this year. She started in May. Did you start in May?
Yeah, sorry, I was muted.
No, you're good. So Emily started last May. She's like this close to 2-star. And like that close to 3-star. So you guys have to realize that if you're breaking these goals down, you will be successful. This is not just for certain people. Okay.
Okay, real quick.
Yes.
So like 1-star, 2-star, does that mean you have, like, because being a diamond coach is you have 8 coaches under you, right?
Yes.
So does that mean you have 16 coaches, or is that you get another coach to diamond?
No, I'm glad you asked that. So what makes Beachbody different than other MLMs, and like a lot of people think, oh, you have to be at the top to make the most money. Beachbody has designed it differently, and how they've designed it differently is I cannot further advance my own rank past diamond. I get to diamond, and that is it. The only way I can advance in rank is if my team is advancing in rank. So when I have Emily goes diamond or went diamond, she's actually under my husband, he became a 1-star. Does that make sense?
Okay.
When one of your personally sponsored coaches hit diamond, they become a star for you.
Okay.
So that is how this business is different, because Emily could kill it and become a 15-star, and I'm a 10-star. So she could be getting the 15-star quarterly bonuses. She could have more volume on her legs balanced than I have and make more money than me. So that's how this business is different. I'm glad you asked that, because that is something people probably don't know. So getting to 5-star means you have 5 personally sponsored coaches who have hit diamond. Okay. Okay. So the daily goals is what I want to focus on, of what I did to get to elite. Nothing fancy. You'll find that most of you guys are doing this. So you just have to stay consistent. So the daily activities, the most important things, you have to be inspiring, you have to be consistent, and you have to have belief. So what I mean by that is you have to be someone that people want to come to. They want to see your page. They want to see what you're doing. You have to be someone that is encouraging and motivating, inspiring, obviously. Consistent. You have to be doing this daily. You cannot be, I am here and I'm around on Facebook, for 2 weeks straight, and then I'm out of here for 2 weeks and I'm not going to say a word. Like, you have to be consistent, even if you're just sharing your life and it's not even Beachbody. You've got to share you, and you have to do it daily. And the last one is belief. You will not achieve anything. You will not achieve anything in this business if you do not believe in it. And that's how everything is in life, though. So you're not going to achieve anything you don't believe. So you have to have belief in the business. You have to have belief in yourself. Okay, so you do this through sharing your story. This is like, I preach it from the rooftops. You guys have heard it like 1,000 times. You have to be vulnerable and you have to be real. If you don't want to do invites, be more vulnerable. I do not do invites. I hate them. I despise them. I will do whatever it takes to not have to do them. And that's how I counterbalance that, is because the more vulnerable I am, the more real I am, the less I have to invite. So I just use this post as an example of one of my top posts, and it was just sharing real life. I don't know if you guys have seen, the other day I shared that video by Terry, what is his name? He's in White Chicks. He's that black actor, Terry something.
It's Terry Crews.
Yes, thank you. So
that was awesome, by the way.
It was so good. So he was talking about pornography, but it really applies to anything in life. So he was talking about how he was addicted to pornography for years, and it was his secret. No one knew. I'm sure someone could figure that out, but he didn't tell a soul. And he talks about how dirty little secrets are what eat you and keep you hindered in life. And when you share those secrets, you're able to break whatever that is. So it really applies to anything we have in life. Struggles. I'm not just pornography. When we have these struggles and we share them, we're able to break the cycle and we're able to like push past and become better people. And when I post that post, another coach commented that Jimmy Hayes Nelson, he's a Beachbody Coach, he's a 15-star male coach. And he posted, I guess, about when you share your struggles for the world to see, you take away the ability for others to judge you. And really think about that. When you share what your struggles are, people will not judge you because they understand you. So yeah, maybe they do judge you, but that really just shows who they are. But it's so true. So the more vulnerable and real you are, the less people are going to judge you. And I have found that the more I share scary things, the more I share things I don't want people to know, the more relatable I have become to them and the more they open up to me. And it's very freeing, extremely liberating to share those hard times, because Facebook is the land of perfectionism. Everybody shares the highlight reel of their life, the highlight reel of their day, and they're not sharing the stupid, annoying, frustrating things. And so when you share positively these things, these trials, these struggles, people relate to you and they're like, finally, someone is saying what I've been feeling all day, so I'm not alone. This post specifically, when I had the idea of it, it was so funny. I was like, I am so going to post that I am enough post, because I'm really finally settling into I am enough. When I have bad days and I'm really beating myself up, I sit and think of but I'm doing my best. I am trying my best. That means I'm enough. So I had this grand scheme. I was going to take this cute picture with Luke hugging me. Yeah, no, it turned into a nightmare. He was screaming. He was throwing a fit. He got marker and drew head to toe all over himself. It was bad. He was poopy. The dishes were overflowing. And I was like, this is hilarious, because this is legitimately I started to have the thoughts of you're not doing enough. You're not being good enough. It was noon. I had done nothing but shower myself for the day. I hadn't even eaten. It was a joke. And so I was like, this is the perfect post for me to share. This is real life. I am enough. And this is the backstory. And so I promise you that the more real you are, the more relatable you become. So don't be scared to share those things that you think are kind of taboo subjects, or things that you think, no one wants to hear, because honestly, everybody wants to hear them. Okay. So going with that, you have to consistently be working on you. You have to be in this to help yourself become a better person. You will only be able to help those as much as you're helping yourself. So if you're not bettering yourself consistently and constantly working on improving yourself, you're going to struggle. So personal development, preached from the rooftops, especially from Micah, that is where your life will change. And in the process of that, you're able to share all these other things because you're working through your struggles and you're able to do it through a positive avenue. Your why has to be bigger than your excuse. you'll find that there are days where you hate life. Everybody has those days where it's just completely frustrating and you want to run away. Whether it's with the business or personal, you will have those days. And you have to remember why you are doing this. And it has to be bigger than your excuse to just let it go. So you guys all know my December was crazy. I could have just walked away from the business, but it was important for me because this is changing our lives. And I knew I needed to be consistent. So I chose to do what I could, and I chose to continue to share my story. And I chose to do that rather than having the excuse of, I don't want to deal with this right now, because honestly, I didn't. Like, I didn't want to do anything in December. I wanted to crawl in a hole and have someone wake me up when it was over. So you have to remember when these hard days come, there's a purpose for whatever you're going through. And I promise you that the blessings of whatever you're going through always are more than the trial that you're in. So your why has got to be bigger than your excuse. To do this effectively, though, you have to be positive. You will only go as far as your mind believes. So if your mind is constantly stuck in negativity, you're not going to believe that you're going to get anywhere. So that's where this quote comes in. In order to carry a positive action, we must develop here a positive vision. So you cannot have a vision of being 5-star elite, yet you're completely not doing the actions to get there. So this applies with anything. You can't be a happy person if you're not doing any of the actions to be a happy person. You have to create a positive action as a result of your positive vision that you're working towards. So on those days where you hate life, really, really, really dive into personal development. Disconnect. Shut your phone off. Shut your computer off. Step away. Go take a bath. Do something for you that makes you feel good. And really dig into personal development and try and remember your why. It always comes back to your why. You have to believe in it, and you have to believe in yourself. That is what this is all about. Okay. Next thing I noticed that I needed to do was to act the part. So I noticed that a lot of like the top coaches, they had really professional looking profile pictures. All the pictures they shared were they were lit well. They were staged well. They didn't necessarily need to look staged, but by staged well, I mean they had good backgrounds. They were in good lighting. And I noticed that I needed to act like a superstar diamond. I needed to act like a 5-star elite to become 5-star elite. It's one of those things of your mind will achieve what it believes. So it goes back to the vision boards. Act like a superstar diamond. Your brain will believe it, and you will naturally act the part, and it will naturally happen as a result of believing you're already a superstar diamond. So acting the part, a lot of this may seem vain and like complete vanity, but it's not. It just helps your brain make the switch of you're in this professionally, it is legit business, and you're going to treat it as such. So make sure you're taking good pictures, which goes to our coach retreat. We are going to have a photo session where I will do headshots for you guys so that you have a good professional photo for your headshots, and we can do fitness photos at the same time. Because you need to have a good profile picture so that people can connect with you, especially when you start tapping into your cold market and you want to send friend requests to people you don't really know, but you want to know. You need to have a good profile picture so that people feel like they know you. And for them to feel that they know you, they need to see your eyes. Needs to be a great face shot. So make sure your profile picture is one that clearly shows who you are, and it really shows your face. I suggest following any top coaches who you relate to. Go and see how they post. Take note of like the pictures that they take, and look on Pinterest for ideas of different poses you can do. Just look for motivation to help you kind of act the part. And I promise you, that makes all the difference, like big time. Okay, presenting the business. This is something that I know is super hard for people, especially at the beginning. And this is where I kick myself. I wish I had presented the business a whole lot more at the very beginning, because I was so focused on the financial part when I should have been able to focus on other things that were not financial, like the emotional and mental support and physical support that I was receiving from being a coach. So sprinkle the business into your post, leaving a little bit breadcrumbs. You don't need to be flat out inviting people to coaches, inviting people to challenge groups. You just need to be sprinkling the businesses into your post. And you need to show how life can change. Your life can change with this business. So we paid off our van. I did a paid off our van post. We just closed on our house. We literally would not be in our house if it weren't for this business. We would not be. Actually, I don't even know if we would be here. I don't know how we could have moved in the situation we were in. So we were able to save up our down payment within 1 month of work because of this company. And so that was a post that I did. Like, our lives are literally different. We are in a different situation than we would have been had I never been a coach before. Now, you're not going to have those posts all the time. You don't need those posts all the time. That's where these subtle ones can come in. So, you know, my son sacks out on me. He never sleeps. So the time that he does, I'm like, you know what? It's crazy because I was actually checking in on all my challenge groups and doing work. And it dawned on me, like, I am making money and making this like a full-time income sitting here holding my son while he's sleeping. I'm not out at a full-time job. I didn't have to go get a waitressing job like I was going to last January when I got desperate. You know, my kids are in the backyard playing. Like, this is awesome. I'm legit being a mom boss. I know that sounds cheesy and it took me forever to even be okay with that term, but it is the truth. I'm sitting there being a mom at the same time as being a boss. And so that was something that I posted about. So you can have very subtle messages. You can talk about, you know, you don't have to be making it the focus of it, but just slip it in there because it's a breadcrumb and people are watching it. The reason I am so trying to focus on this now is because it dawned on me the other day. You guys may have seen the post in the Diamond Challenge group or the Diamond Dash that I posted. My life would not be where it is today if Micah had not been presenting the business in her posts. She wasn't calling me out. In fact, I never responded to like the call to action post because I just didn't think about it. But you can bet I was watching her because I saw how the business was changing her life. And so when I decided I was going to go for it, I went to her because she was presenting the business. Like, you never know who is praying for an answer. Greg and I have been praying for years and years and years for a way out of our deep, dark debt hole. Like, it was horrible. And like, I have Micah to thank for being the catalyst and being the answer to the prayer that I had been praying. Like, the Lord sent her to answer my prayer. And had she not presented the business, where would I be? You never know whose life is literally going to change because of this business. So don't worry about the naysayers. Don't worry about the people, you know, who you think don't want to hear this. Don't worry about anybody because you're not talking to those people. You're talking to those who have been praying and searching for an answer. So sprinkle the business into all of your posts, not all of them, but daily, every other day when you're just starting. Really sprinkle it into your life because pretty soon you realize how much this business has changed your life. Like, my life is literally what it is because of Beachbody, and I could talk about it all day now. So sprinkle it in so that people can see how this is changing your life. And I promise it will add up over time, but you've got to be consistent with it for people to see that. Okay, developing team culture.
Jalen, at what point do you make like your coach page, like your fit page or whatever?
That is something you can do anytime. So I just barely started really pushing mine because I felt like my warm market was drying up. I should have been doing this a long time ago before my warm market was drying up. It's just something very personal. Some people say start it right away. Other people say, you know, you can just start it whenever. So it's not necessarily a bad thing to start anytime. So developing team culture. So you guys know that, like, I'm big on getting started right calls. Success Club 10 is huge for me. Getting to Emerald within your first month is something I really try and emphasize just so that it gets the ball rolling. You'll get to Success Club 10. You get the free leads. Doing the training is super important. And then making sure that the team culture is all about support and friendship. And doing get-togethers honestly is huge. Like, I didn't realize how big it was until I went to Summit, because that was like my real first get-together, which is a live event. And I remember everybody saying, you've got to go to Summit. It's life-changing. And I was like, whatever, it's life-changing. No, like, for real, it is life-changing. Get your butts to Summit. Like, legit, it's crazy. When you see the business and you see the people who have designed this company and you see how much they believe in legitimately changing people's lives for the better, it totally re-solidifies everything we're doing. It just like lights a fire in you. And so when you get around all these other coaches who have the same vision, it is extremely uplifting and empowering, and it lights the fire under you. So getting together as often as you can with your team is very important. And that's why we're trying to do this coach retreat at my house. So if anything you can do, get here, just get here, because I promise you it is so good to just hang out and have time to sit and gab with, anybody on the team and have these times to talk about, strategy and what we're doing and what someone else does. And just so you have so many different ideas, but it just lights a fire. Live events are the same way. Summit and Super Saturdays and the Sagi event. Like, these are all things that you take advantage of. And when you go one time, you'll realize how incredibly important they are and how awesome they are. So any chance you have, get there. I promise, it is worth it. And what it comes down to is sharing every single day. You cannot be someone who shares once a week, once a month, and expect to get to 5-star elite within 1 year. It's something you've got to believe in, and it's something you've got to share every single day. So success isn't about what you accomplish in your life. It's about what you inspire others to do. So that's the presentation I had. Does anybody have any questions on anything? No? How about y'all's unmute yourself? Because I feel like I'm talking to myself. There we go. We can hear someone. What is he doing, Emily?
He wants to be a girl.
Oh, I know.
The only thing I would add, like with my coaches, I'm really pushing a like page because I feel like I waited too long too, and everything is fizzling with my warm market, and now all of a sudden I'm like rushing to do all this stuff. So it's not going to hurt to get it going and have that like ready to run once you need it. So I would suggest doing it now rather than later.
Yep. At least Instagram or like page for sure.
Yeah.
And continue adding people to your network. I know that I felt like my warm market was running out. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I am like in these huge groups and I'm not really tapping into them. So I started interacting more on these groups, and I'm able to friend request, and they recognize me because I'm interacting in the group. I'm not even posting about the business. I'm just interacting in these groups. And when I friend request them, they accept because they recognize who I am. So that is something to not forget. So just because your warm market that people you know is running out, go into groups of your interest, not any fitness related. Besides that, your other areas of interest. So makeup or moms or just stuff like that. So anything that's of your interest, and start interacting with those groups of people, and then friend request them after you've interacted with them. And they're not going to think twice about accepting your friendship because they know who you are. They recognize your name.
Yeah.
So that's opened up a
I'm
lot.
like such an old lady. I have no idea how to use Instagram. I finally made a profile, but I have no idea what the heck I'm doing in there.
Yeah, Instagram, I'm still trying to figure out.
So get on YouTube.
My little brother in high school sit down and teach me how to do things.
Get on YouTube though, and there's so many tutorials that have taught me just random little things. You'd be shocked at how much is on YouTube. So
Okay.
it helps me.
Are you talking, Laurel? Oh no. We can't hear you. What's wrong with your computer? Sad. Type it in the chat. Does anybody have any questions, anything to add?
I feel like I had some earlier today. Now I can't think of them. I'm really brain dead. I do these things first thing in the morning when I wake up, and I'm not. My brain's functioning.
Okay, how much time do people spend on social media each day? Totally depends. So if you're very disciplined, which I'm not, I turn off my notifications first thing. That helps a ton. So you're not instantly reacting to that ding or that pop-up of, whatever. So turn off your notifications, set times of days or times throughout the day that you check in or whatever. You can honestly spend like minimal an hour doing your power hour up to all day if you're distracted like I am. So it's called the news feed like black hole. Just don't get sucked into the news feed and you're fine. So it really it depends on how structured you want to be. And honestly, I think the more structured you are, the more successful you'll be. I'm kind of realizing like I'll enjoy life more. I do, especially on the days where I'm putting my phone down. I've already done my power hour. I'll check back in at this time, and you allow yourself so many minutes to check back in, and you put it down again, and you go live life. So, does that answer your question?
How do you turn off your notifications?
Who asked that?
Kaylee.
Okay. Do you have an iPhone?
Yeah.
Okay. So go into your settings.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if I would do it straight from the Facebook app.
I would go into your settings and turn off all notifications. Do the same thing for Instagram, any sort of social media that you use.
All right.
That immediately helped my life because we were at, was it the Dallas training, Jerica, where they were talking about that? Your brain automatically wants to respond. So if you see or hear, you will stop whatever you're doing. And so if you don't see or hear that, it's fine. It sucks when you get up and there's like 50 notifications and you're like trying to filter through them. But it's better than getting those every minute and being distracted all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You're good. Anybody have anything to add? Anything that's helped you? Emily, what did you do because your team is taking off? So what are you doing in your team page that is like getting everybody to push?
I wish I could give you the secret sauce, but my coaches just are on fire. Like they're just motivated, and it's nothing I'm doing. I wish I could take credit. Sorry, my baby's screaming.
You're good.
But
clearly your team is you're doing something right because your team culture, it's obviously a culture thing too for your team because you're like on fire.
yeah, I mean, I feel like you talked about hanging out with each other, and that just we built relationships, and I don't know, I think there's just that underlying like friendship where we trust each other, and we really, on the hard days, we really do come to each other like, I want to quit, this sucks, and we, like just come together as a team and keep them going. Like I think we're just awesome together. I don't know.
I agree.
My team's awesome.
They are.
That's all it is. It's not me.
So did y'all hear that? You need to get to this retreat. Capiche? Emily.
I know, like my whole team is almost going, and I'm not going to be there.
Speaking of, I need like a final count. How many of your team? Because I don't think your team has commented that they're going.
I believe Sharon,
Oh wait,
Tiffany.
Sharon did.
They're on. Sharon and Tiffany and Kaylee.
Okay.
I can't remember if Anne is and some of her team. I don't think Anne can go. I think she's working, and I think Christine's working. So I know those three, I'm pretty sure. Tiffany, can you hear me? Or Sharon?
What do you do?
Anyway, I'll ask him right now through through messaging and let you know.
Okay.
I think Shandy is too.
Oh, okay.
That's her name.
Yeah, that's one of Sharon's coaches.
Cool. Okay. And
I
then
have one more question I just remembered.
you're good.
At what point did you start your own team page? Like,
That you can do as soon as you feel like you need one. So I did one when I was Diamond when I had a couple working coaches. So as soon as I had like Emily and Heidi, I think is when I started it because I was like constantly trying to talk to them, and you need to be able to have a page to do that. So as soon as you feel like you have a couple business builders and you need to talk to them.
okay.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, so if you are coming to the retreat, does anybody have any air mattresses? Because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 spots for beds, and then 2 couches and 2 recliners and a bedroom that Jessica will be in with her baby. But then you have 2 living rooms. So anybody have air mattresses?
I'm probably coming, and I have 1 queen and then 1 just like twin mattress.
Sweet. Will you bring them?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so you're planning on coming now?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so I'll get a for sure count. We're going to have Jerica do some training on her awesome posts and how she knows how to market, because she was like the marketing guru. I look at her stuff. I'm like, what the freak? Why can't they have pictures and posts like that? So we'll have her talk. We're just going to hang out. We're going to do some headshots. So bring any sort of clothes you want headshots in. We can do some fitness. We can do some dressy. Take advantage, because Micah did this when I went up to her house in September. It was awesome. That's still my profile picture, was one of those pictures. So take advantage of the time to get good pictures, at least, not cell phone pictures.
I still have like all my baby chub in my face though, so I feel like it would be like
Dude,
right.
Don't do that. You're not going there.
I don't think I'm not a good representation of it right now.
Don't do that. Your journey right now is what is appealing to people, and you need to be kind to yourself. I know how you feel though. I totally get it. Like, I've been there. I don't like it. But I can tell you now, I wish I had taken more pictures. Hands down, I wish I had taken more pictures. So it's okay. Because then when you feel better in a couple months, we'll have more pictures. So you're not getting out of pictures. Okay, anybody have any other questions, comments, concerns? What are some good tips for people starting out while having a full-time job? Where do you find the balance? Okay, so are you in, Jerica, are you a coach?
Yeah.
Okay.
She just signed up yesterday.
Nice. And you won the Victoria's Secret gift card, didn't she? Where is she?
Yeah, she's the one that won.
Okay.
I think she's just on her cell phone.
Okay, so Jerica sent her the Melissa Brewer YouTube. She's a full-time working mom. It's actually in the training.
Yeah.
In one of the training videos.
Yeah.
She talked about
I'm giving her training videos yet.
Okay, so those are awesome, by the way. Everybody better be doing those, like, for real. They don't take
Is it this same link that I was on before? I haven't gone back to
He just has changed them up.
Okay.
Like, they're completely new.
Okay.
Okay, so watch that video. She talks a lot about you just have to be, what's the word?
She has a schedule. Like,
Yeah.
before she goes to work, she makes all her posts ahead of time, and then she'll post it like at her lunch break and a afternoon break, and then she's mom after work. Like, she just has a schedule.
You just have to be diligent with your time. So you can do this as fast as you want, or as like
time
as you want. So it depends on what your goals are. If your goals are to eventually quit your job, like how soon do you want to quit your job, then you would up your amount of work that you're doing for Beachbody. So it all just depends on you. But the main thing she talks about is you have to be diligent with your time. That is not the right word, but I hope you know what I'm meaning. Like, you have to just be, what is the word? You can't mess around. Just be very
deliberate.
Thank you. Yes. You have to be deliberate with your time. So she's just very routine as far as the business goes. Just set time aside to do your power of threes, bust through it, and then you're done. So you'll have to just prepare ahead of time, like Jerica was saying with your posts, but that's pretty much it.
That training, was there something that you could do for like, I'm not fixing the word, the people that are interested? Wasn't there a link that's kind of like that, but it wasn't the coaching, like the training?
For people who are interested in what?
In being a coach?
Like, we have lots of different things for that. So we have like a sneak peek group that we did, which we'll be doing, by the way, like pretty much over the weekend that we're here, which should make it easy for all of us to post. You have that sneak peek group. You have that webinar that Micah and I just did.
Well, I sent that to her. Did she ever message you?
Mm-mm. Well, actually, she may have. I just got a message request.
Okay. But I feel like with the 21-day trainings on that same like website, I feel like there was one. Am I wrong? Was there one that was for like?
There could be.
Okay.
No, I don't know. We'll have to look because there was one that. There might be one. She did one a while. There's a ton of different. Just look. There might be one because she's done several webinars.
Okay.
The one we just did was the most concise. The other ones are really long, so she wanted to shorten them and make it like very direct to the point. So that was a short one. That one's more equivalent to the Backstage Pass, but not broken down into 12 different videos.
Okay.
I loved that training or that video you just did with Micah.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Yeah. So, yeah. And that's another thing is you leaders who are getting to where you have a team, you start doing these because people want to see you. They don't want to see me and they don't want to see Micah. They want to connect with whoever they're talking to about coaching. So that's your chance to record one. You can group up with someone else. Yeah. That's another thing we need to do with the sneak peek. And that's another reason we're doing it that way is so we all have different videos. Oh, I want to talk about that for a sec. If you're on the videos for the sneak peek, I want to do a leader meeting where we talk about like the lighting and stuff like that so we can make the videos look more professional because I know a lot of us were like scrambling to just get them done because we decided like 2 days before we did it that we were doing it. So I want to talk about like lighting and making sure the videos look more professional so it looks good. But anybody who wants to be included in that, you're more than welcome to make a video because the people who are sent to the sneak peek will connect with whoever they're watching. So if we have one of all of you leaders, they're going to connect with their coach versus like some random person. That makes sense? Yeah? Okay. Anything else?
This is completely random and not really that important, but
That's great.
So I've hit Success Club 10 like almost every month, but every single challenger I have, I'm not joking, every single one except Laurel, they like don't participate in the groups, and like I guess I'm just having a hard time getting them to participate in the groups and then also like get the coach, even discount coach conversion. Like
Okay.
Nothing's happening there.
So are you tagging them in posts and they still don't respond?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you private message them, do they respond?
I usually text them because it's like more, personable, and half and half.
Okay, so my guess is they're not doing the program, which is why they're not responding to you. Okay. Which is why they're not converting to discount or coaching because they're not doing it. So if they're not responding to tags, I would PM them. And then if they tell you they're doing awesome, I always encourage them, go share that in the group because someone needs to hear that. Yeah. So that was what I would do. But if they're not responding to even texts, it's because they're not doing the program.
Okay.
So
how do you encourage them to keep going with it like that? Like to be a good coach and like so you don't just drop them off after? So
you can't really push a wet noodle is what Micah always says. You can't make them do it. So I will when we do a new challenge group or whatever, every so often, I'll message a lot of them and say, hey, I'm starting a new one, or I'll even tag them in a post. Who wants in on this? And I'll even do it on my personal wall because then people can see who is doing it. And a lot of them will be like, okay, I'm in this round. I really need to get back into it. So just every so often check back in with them, but you can't. If they want to do it, they'll do it, is what comes from. So I don't know. I would just I don't know. Are you close with these people, Alicia? Like, are they friends or anything?
Not like super close.
Okay.
I know them, but not.
Okay. Yeah, I would just try and keep in touch with them. But if they're not even responding to your texts, I would almost next, move along.
One of the ladies actually finally did, and I was like, how are you liking the workouts? Blah, blah. She's like, oh, I prefer CrossFit. It's like, okay.
Awesome. Alrighty.
Go to CrossFit then.
All I see are dollar signs when people talk about CrossFit. I'm like, oh my gosh, and you think my stuff is expensive. Not really.
So expensive.
Yeah. I know we went to the rec center today to get our passes because Greg gets them for work. Dude, freaking yoga is $85 a month. for like 3 days a week for a half hour. I'm like, oh my gosh. I don't want to hear price objections from people, especially if they do any sort of working out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. Okay. Any other questions about anything? No? Okay. How about where in the heck did Emily go? Why did she get off? Naughty. Okay, let's have Jerica and Alicia and Holly and Sharon stay on for a minute so we can talk stuff. But okay, the rest of you guys, try and make it to the retreat. Let me know if you're coming for sure on that one post. If you're not coming, don't worry about it. Just so I can finalize food plans and beds and stuff like that. And then next week, I don't know if we'll do a team call because we'll have the retreat right after, unless Breezy's going to do like a Q&A thing. So I'll let you guys know about the team call next week.
So I missed the first part of the call. Did she do it, Breezy?
She got sick like an hour before. She texted me and was like, I'm sorry, I'm sick. I'm like, oh, I like talked to you after like a month. Awesome. Yeah. And I just barely talked on her team. So I'm like, whatever, I'll just do this call. So I literally just did her call for her team. So,
oh man.
Yeah. So anyway,